Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah, alhamdulillah. This subject tonight, I'm going to be talking about, okay, I'm very sorry, but it's a very, very heavy subject. And I've talked about how Muslims cannot be in denial, okay? And I've also talked about how the human psyche wants to avoid confronting frightening realities, okay? So the subject I'm talking about tonight is frightening, okay? But you need to understand, Muslims, you are in very serious danger, and your primary danger is from Allah, okay? You have the option to do the things to get the help of Allah, but you haven't been doing it. You've been doing the opposite, okay? But I'm going to get back to that later, inshallah. All right. What I'm going to be talking about, okay, understand that you're already like in a very serious situation, okay? Over the last 500 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken away essentially everything from Muslims, okay? You have no power in the world. You have no authority in the world. You have no respect in the world, okay? You're in a very, disgraced and weak and humiliating situation, okay? That I've described this hadith that Rasulullah said that Allah would gather the nations against you, and that has been going on, okay? Allah has taken away everything from you except your dunya. Okay, you're still making money and making babies and buying houses and buying cars and buying cell phones, okay? In Islam, that is called istidraj, okay? You're not getting this as barakah from Allah, okay? You're lying to yourself if you believe this. You're not getting this, this is not Allah's barakah. Okay, you will not have Allah's barakah when you are criminals defined in Islam. Okay, and I've gone through the Quran, I've gone through a hadith. Okay, you don't get Allah's barakah for being criminals against Allah's deen. And the Muslims here in the West have committed the biggest crime in Islam and the biggest crime in the history of Islam, okay? Now, I've been warning Muslims about rising fascism for at least 5 years, okay? Beginning in 2015, I began developing the Islam Forward project. It was such a wonderful project that the Muslims really, really needed. If we had had that, we would have our own media operation here in DFW. We would have liaison with all of the good activist groups, allies, okay? I presented the project. It was a fantastic project. Wallahi, I spent the entire year working full-time and $50,000 from my own pocket so I could work full-time developing this project. I built a website with over 2,000 articles. I was beginning the news setup and presented in a few masajid, talked to a few Muslims I know who had money. And with Muslims today, everything is in one ear, out the other. Muslims never make the right decision. Muslims never make the right commitment. And this also comes from that hadith that Rasulullah said that when you become useless, okay, you're also, so many things in that hadith. Allah takes away from your enemies any fear or any respect. And that's exactly where you are, okay? Non-Muslims can pick you off with a sniper rifle. They can pick you off from 10,000 miles away using a high-def TV screen and a joystick and blow up an entire family of Muslim men, women, and children. And wallahi, Rasulullah talked about it, and I'm going to get to that. But this disease that Rasulullah called al-wahn, okay, it's a weakness. In medical terms, it's used to describe a bodily weakness, okay? But with Muslims, it's more like catatonia, brain death. You're brain dead, okay? You're unresponsive. You don't respond to reality. You don't respond to what people tell you, okay? You don't wake up, okay? That is called brain dead, okay? Look up the word catatonia, all right? Okay, but I'm going to have to get into the discussion about rising fascism. And again, I've been warning about this. You know, I developed, you know, I mean, you know, it's ugly. And the thing is that it has already taken root. And if you don't know the history of fascism, okay, the last time fascism was on Earth, 50 million people were dead before they got fascism stopped. And this time, it is an international fascism. There are already 30 countries in it, okay? They have 1,000 times the power that the Germans and Italians and Spanish had in World War II, okay? It's going to be serious. And as Rasulullah said, you'll make dua and Allah will not answer your dua. Guys, Allah hasn't been answering your duas. Okay? So let me jump back because, again, the way this silly system works, okay. Now, what is a pogrom? Okay? This is a term that I believe it's Russian, okay? An organized massacre of a particular ethnic group, okay? And it was developed to describe what the Nazis did to the Jews, okay? But now we're in a different piece of history, but understand, Allah was behind that. And I've been telling you today, my brothers and sisters, Allah is not your friend right now. Okay? I've gone through the verses of Quran explaining that. All right? And we're going to get to how to get the help of Allah. I've already been talking about it. We're going to go into it again. Okay? So we've seen, you know, Islamophobia. And we've seen that it's been organized. Okay, there have been highly well-funded individuals and organizations behind the spread of Islamophobia. Okay, that is a characteristic of fascism. Okay, xenophobia, targeted harassment, targeted hate, hate speech that targets specific groups of people. Okay, but now we're in a new phase, okay? We are now seeing actual fascists coming into power and declaring their fascism openly, okay? And in case you haven't been noticing, leaders in Europe who have been elected to power, Donald Trump, okay, he is a fascist and he is surrounded by fascists. Okay? Netanyahu, fascist, and just this last year declared Israel an ethnic state for Jews only. Okay? So, guys, I'm warning you, you've got to get serious. And the thing is that your activism has to be right. Okay, you can't be directly confronting the material threat while you are ignoring Allah and His deen. Okay? Your people have completely ignored the dearest thing to Allah, which is the human beings converting to Islam. Okay, Allah created the universe for this reason. Allah created Bani Adam for this reason. And your people ignored it for 60 years and destroyed the lives of converts. In the eyes of Allah, you are the greatest criminals in the history of Islam. That's why I'm saying Allah is not your friend right now. And Allah won't be answering du'as. Okay, now, we've also seen this kind of Hindu nationalism in India. Okay, and I'm telling you that there are at least 20 million Hindu fascists who are already organized. And they are ready to declare India their country. And whatever they do with Muslims, I have no idea. Okay? But it just goes from bad to worse. All right? I get so thirsty. Okay? So that's the United States, India, Israel, several European countries. Okay? Italy, one, Poland, right? We've seen it also in England, France. Okay, guys, it's coming. And you've got to get Allah on your side, and I'm telling you, you will not have Allah on your side until you become the Ansar of the converts. Okay? Go back through the previous sessions. I explain it very clearly. It's in the Quran, guys. Okay? Here, the Muslim ban. Donald Trump hasn't maybe lately said as much about Muslims as he had been, okay? But in the beginning, he was very serious about Muslims. Stephen Miller is still there with him. He hates Muslims. Steve Bannon is still out there organizing, and propagating, and he hates Muslims, all right? It's still going on, guys, okay? And today's Republicans are all like that. Okay, I mean, they're just like openly Nazis now, all right? This was Brookings Institute, again, going into these issues, talking about, all the Western countries and even Eastern Europe. Okay, it's a very serious threat. This, I think, was from, this is still Brookings, yeah. Yep. The rise of the new populist. Now, they use this term populist, and it's incorrect, okay? They really shouldn't use this, because actual populism is more of a left socialist movement, okay? It was more like Bernie Sanders. Populism really its proper historical usage is good people who stand for the people and with the people, okay? But they mistakenly use this term. They're talking about right-wing populism, okay, which is demagoguery, okay, authoritarianism, hate, racism, fascism, okay. Yesterday, Jews, doesn't mean yesterday, it means, 90 years ago, okay, in Europe, in Germany. Jews were demonized for spreading disease, okay? Today it's Muslims, okay? So it's like they'll use everything against you, everything, okay? Go back and look at the propaganda, okay? It's ugly. Okay, European Jewish Congress promotes anti-Muslim bigotry. That's from the Electronic Intifada, okay? It's serious, guys. All right, so I'm gonna stop this right now, and then I'm gonna come back to our discussion about Islam, because that's where your solution is. And if you don't figure this out, and I mean, make a damn decision about your life, okay, you're not going to get the help of Allah. Okay, you're going to have, okay, it's going to be a huge tragedy for everybody. All right? I'll come back, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.